A very peaceful and prosperous Nigeria is still very, very possible, even in the face of lingering insecurity in our country today. On that note, I welcome you to our Urban Violence Floor. My name is Cally Ikpe, and the guest on our program today is the former governor of Lagos State and present Minister of Works and Housing, His Excellency Babatunde and Raji Fashola. Excellency, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're going to come right back into the conversation right after this time. Don't go anywhere.
Audacity at an unprecedented proportion perhaps best describes the spate of violence in Nigeria today. The scale at which murder, arson, kidnapping and brigandage occurs in the present-day Nigeria makes the days of the Niger Delta militancy seem like child's play. The question on the lips of many is, how did we get here? In the first 6 weeks of 2021, no fewer than 1,525 persons were killed across the country, according to Vanguard's newspaper investigation and data obtained from the Nigeria Security Tracker (NST). Incidents of kidnapping have occurred in very quick succession in the northwest of Nigeria, particularly in Katsina and Kaduna states, the most recent being the abduction and subsequent execution of hostages who are students of GREENFILED University in Kaduna State. Before now, it was the turn of the students of the College of Forestry, most of whom are still in captivity. Niger State in north-central Nigeria has also unfortunately become the latest state to concede a part of its territory to the insurgent Boko Haram. This development is coming on the heels of gross acts of kidnapping that had embarrassingly drawn international attention. While this act may be considered as being predominantly in the north, the response from the southeast of Nigeria has ignited a flame that can be likened to how the Boko Haram menace started. Igbo, Anambra, and Ebonyi states have particularly been in the news for dastardly acts carried out by persons suspected to be of southeast extraction. Interestingly, impunity seemed to reign quite high, as perpetrators in too many of these incidents have carried on without a significant measure of repercussion. This incapacity or lack of political will on the part of the Nigerian authorities to bring perpetrators of violence to book remains the major reason for the audacity we are experiencing today. Finally, the citizens remain fixated on the leadership to do the needful before it becomes all too real that Nigeria has become a failed state. It is bad enough that the country now ranks very high on the Global Terrorism Index. All hands must therefore remain on deck as we crave a violence-free Nigeria.
Honorable Minister, right now our nation contends with crisis that threatens to rock our very humanity, our efforts at peace building, at unity, and even the infrastructural developments to which you'll be very, very much involved with. Now, I don't know how frightening it seems to you, and most importantly, what ray of hope do you see us coming out of this very quickly?
Okay, I don't mean to understate the problem. But I am very, very confident that this is yet another passing phase in our evolution. I see it as a temporary setback, and I'm confident that we will overcome this, and this will not define us as a people.
This definitely does not define us as a people as far as you're concerned. Now, non-inclusiveness is been cited often as one of the chief causes for unrest all over the world, Nigeria inclusive. The last big protest, aka NSAS, have brought this much to the fore. Did you by any means see that as a vote of no confidence in the present crop leadership in Nigeria?
It's interesting that a generation after I started getting involved in protests, my children are now protesting. And it just shows you how difficult it is for all of our needs and all of our expectations to be met by any set of representatives, talk less so of only one person. So it speaks to our desire for a better world, it speaks to our desire for a better life. And even the definition of a better world and a better life is an ever-moving target, really. And we must continue to see all of these things in relative terms. They must be aspirational, we must give it our best shot, that a better life is always possible within the context of the challenges, the resources, and the opportunities.
Okay, Honorable Minister, in your tour of duty as governor of Lagos State for 8 good years, and now too as Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, you've carried an extensive interaction with people. Can you share with us what the experience has been like all this while, especially in recent times?
Well, on a smaller scale across Lagos, yes, which is a very small percentage of the national population, people have been extremely receptive when they have information, when they have knowledge, when they know what is going on. So communication is a very, very integral part of the responsibility that those of us in government must take seriously. Unfortunately, no government is guilty of over-communication. We have all been guilty of not communicating, which shows you that communication is a very, very difficult enterprise. On a national scale, touring all the states of the country, everywhere I have been to, and people have understood what we are trying to do, whether it's with roads, whether it's with housing. They have embraced it. On many construction sites, they have embraced happiness to have the opportunity to be employed either as laborers, as architects. They see it as their contribution to helping the president and the government to build their country. That's the feedback I get.
As much as I saw you very confidently interacting with these very ordinary Nigerians, almost year to year discussion, I wonder what will they tell you?
Well, those are the conversations. One of the things I asked them is infrastructure. People must understand is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end. The purpose of infrastructure is partly to deliver that better life, partly to boost economy, partly to create employment. So when I go to those construction sites, my conversation with them revolve around how they got there, how they found out there was a job, if they understand that this was a project initiated by the Buhari government, which they often do, and what that is doing to their lives. So I remember the man in Kaduna Housing Estate, for example, who told me that they'd been planning to get married and couldn't afford to. But immediately he got a job on that side, he could afford to pay the dowry, he got married, and they're now expecting a child. I remember the couple in Ibadan housing site, who the husband was a mason, the wife was a cook, so the wife took over supplying food to the entire building site, while the husband also earned income from his work on a construction site. So it was double income for a family. This is one of the things that infrastructure does. I always call infrastructure the most legitimate way to distribute money in an economy.
Excellent. That going forward, do you think the spread of infrastructure in Nigeria can play any role in helping douse tension? And you probably want to talk to me about the significance of the second Niger bridge that we've been discussing like forever, and now I see things happening. And then, as against other infrastructural projects across the geopolitical zones in Nigeria.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack, so I'll take it one at a time. What can infrastructure do? I think that the conversation on our national table before now, where states and communities saying either they have been marginalized, there is no quote unquote federal presence in our states. We don't see any federal presence. That was the conversation before the Buhari administration. The conversation now has changed to when are you going to finish? Because there is no state where we are not building something. There is no state. If we are not building a road, we are building a housing project or a bridge or a combination of the three. We are in every state of this country. Every state. Some 10 projects, some 6, some 2, some 12, depending on what it is. But we are doing something in every state. So the conversation has moved from, oh, we have been left behind, to when are you going to finish? And we want more. So in all of those states, we don't take laborers there. So it is the indigenous communities who provide the bulk of labor force. It is the indigenous communities who benefit from the supply chain. So laterite for construction, you can't take laterite from Lagos to go and build in Kaduna, for example. So you have to source your laterite, you have to source your crushed stones, you have to source your sand all around that area. You have to source food for the workmen all around that area, and so on and so forth. And so that also impacts on the local economy in a positive way, and there's a sense that they are benefited. And what is instructive, it also improves the value of the land around the area. Our estate valuers have told us that everywhere we build a road or we bring development, the adjoining communal land becomes 30 to 40% more valuable when it is rented or sold. So these are all the ways again in which the president is fulfilling his June 12th commitment to lift 100 million people out of poverty. He won't see them directly, but he will impact them remotely through all these opportunities, providing them opportunities, increasing the value of their land. And once you get more money for your land, you get income, you are on the road to prosperity. You step on the ladder of prosperity. Those who are unemployed before we started the project there, who are now working and stepping onto the ladder of prosperity, those are the people he's taking already very strategically out of poverty. Now, in terms of the linkage, and let me make this point before I go to the second Nigeria. As you build roads connecting communities and cities and states, you are providing interaction. People are moving, exchanging goods and services. What that is doing, it is that it is building, it is breaking down mistrust driven by stories. Because I'm now interacting. And I'm now saying that this man is not a bad man. Why are they telling me he's a bad man? Because I couldn't reach him. I can cross his bridge and go to his farm. And I know that he's not a bad man. I pass through his field. So that is happening. National integration through infrastructure. But in terms of the second Nigeria, let me just say, and this is an example, people may not know it. One of the things that the second Nigeria is going to consume that I can remember from my head is going to take 19 million liters of diesel to run all the machines from beginning to the end. Now, the construction company doesn't make diesel. So the people who are supplying that is business. Just as dredging of sand around the river. Just as the hiring of boats, because it's construction around the river. So they are renting boats to move machines, and it is the local community that's supplying all these boats. I know that from nothing, because I've been in those boats also. So these are the opportunities, and thankfully, those who doubted the existence of the bridge can now see that the bridge has left foundation. It is now at deck stage, and the deck from the Delta Asaba end onto Onitsha end is almost completed. And now we will start the deck on the way back from the Onitsha end to back to the Asaba end. And there is 11 kilometers of road simultaneously being constructed. And those who doubted the commitment of the Buhari administration on that project can now eat their words.
Everyone has done so much as far as transportation is concerned, even the amount of transportation means directly. In any case, we're going to come back and talk more on transportation when we return from the break. This is Babatunde World. We'll be right back after this time. Don't go. Welcome back. This is T. Violence Free World, and my guest is the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola. Excellency, do you think the devotion of more resources to the provision of infrastructure, especially as it is to do with road and rail, can contribute significantly in reducing the spate of kidnapping in our country as presently being experienced? Remember, right now, anything, even if you're bringing food to me, you need to add security. How I'm going to be safe enough to be able to consume
Again, I
this.
want to repeat that I don't want to understate the security situation, but I don't want us to turn it into an everyday, all life consuming conversation. I want us to see it for what it truly is, a moment of time that passes. We've been through some difficult conversations like this in our history. I remember there was a time you could not travel on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I remember that as a younger person. Airplanes on landing used to be hijacked. It's all now in our past. And this will go back into our past. And let us remember that no matter how challenging and difficult this situation is, all the roads that we're talking about, some people's livelihood depend on them. Those roads have not been closed to traffic. There are some people who must pass that road every day. Otherwise, they don't have a living. And they are still there as we and I are talking. But our commitment is that the risk to those people and to those who have become victims must be removed. That's our commitment. So we don't want crime in any form. That's an ideal aspiration. So we must understand that these people are criminals. They're a very, very small part of our number as a people. And if we are united against crime, we will get rid of them. They're a very small number who will give us nightmares, if you like, who make life difficult. I always ask people, are there up to 1 million criminals in Nigeria? I don't think so. And we are 200 million people. So if we are decisive, we'll get rid of all of them. They are not more than us. We overwhelm them by sheer number in many multiples. And therefore, it is more than a government action, it's a national action. We must develop a community of purpose against crime. And we must ensure that there are consequences, very, very serious consequences for crime, in order to put this behind us.
Excellency, there's something that I have observed with this administration of Muhammadu Buhari. I know that there's a tendency for people not to want to be outshined by previous administrations. But I say you have no qualms continuing in a project initiated by previous administrations. I wonder what goes on in the meetings when you sit to debate this and you do so almost effortlessly. What's going on, Excellency?
You know, there's a book that I partly read and then I moved on to other books. And that book has a title called Ego is the Problem.
Ego
Is the problem. So, the president has no ego. Well, let me put it this way. We all have egos, and you see, the question is the ego on top of you, or are you in control of you? So, I think his attitude, and this is an attitude that I subscribe to, so I have no problem with it too, is to understand that no government owns the project. It's the Nigerian people who own it. And Nigerians don't really care who started it. All Nigerians are interested in put it to use. Let's use it. Finish it. So, and that is the measure of the government that serves them. The government that brings these things to fruition. And in any event, what should government really be like? If we say all the right things and do the wrong thing, we all say, oh, it's a continuum. Government is a continuum. So if it's a continuum, the roads, the bridges, the rail, the gas pipelines, whoever may have started them should continue. The important thing is that logic and common sense tells us that those projects are necessary. Once they pass the test of necessity, they pass the test of feasibility, they pass the test of viability, by all means go and implement and execute so that you can improve the life of people. In any event, they give effect to our ease of doing business policy.
Finally, sir, the media has played a very, very central role in anything and in almost all of our situations. With regard to the insecurity today, if you want to assess the media, do you think they have done well enough, or they themselves have served to exacerbate the situation that we presently face? When I say media, I mean in its entirety.
Well, I am happy that you asked this question, and I will answer it by offering advice rather than passing a judgment on the media. And my advice would be this: criminals and terrorists feed on publicity and fear. So, those who report crime must find a balance between reporting and advertising criminals. It's a very, very delicate balance. And every time a criminal sees that his activities has cost us pain, has cost us fear, has cost us disquiet, we embolden him. And that is the balance that we must find in how we report it. If you want an example, I remember that I accompanied President Buhari to the G7 meeting. And one of the resolutions taken at the G7 meeting by the Europeans and the Americans was that they were going to ask their media to stop publicizing footage and reportage of terrorists in their media. And if you go back to 2016, you won't see all of the footage again, either on any international their lives. Those are things that I think that we can all learn from as part of the strategy, broad-based strategy for managing this situation.
Excellency, at this point, Amos, thank you very much for obliging us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, I've been speaking with His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola. Same time next week promises a better edition if you endeavor to be here. Until then, please remain on the road to a violence-free Nigeria. My name is Cally Ikpe. Thank you for watching.